Do you want to know how to stop the screen time battles without a fight? It's possible. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, education, and calmness, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about screens and boundaries. And let's not fight about it anymore. In this video, we're going to talk about what happens with screens in many families at this current stage of our social evolution, I guess, as a screen and technology society. And then we're going to talk about what's at the root cause of a lot of these problems, what are the screens really doing, and then how you can help your children adjust to taking a step away from those screens without getting into a fight every time. All right, do screen time arguments happen every single day at your house? There are some houses where that is the number one thing they talk about is screens. Now, I want you to just think about that. Why in the world would any clear-thinking person give a device enough power to take over their conversations with the people around them that they love? Why would we do that? Why would we elevate the necessity for these things to the level that our relationships with the people around us turn to fights because of the thing? It kind of makes no sense if you think about it, but we've done this. We have lived this experiment as a society. We have put our children in front of screens. We've used the screens as babysitters. We've used the screens as teachers and educators. We've used the screens as friends. That's sad, isn't it? But we have. And then we wonder why our children don't like friends and why they don't have friends and why they don't play outside. Now, I'm not saying that every family has done this to the children, because I know that there are so many parents that have been trying so hard not to have the addictions and the habits and the social problems that have come from these devices, the watches, the iPads, even the televisions are so smart now that we find ourselves surfing through all these things on the television. I mean, have you ever done that thing where you surf through all the different videos and you examine them for like an hour before you even pick the 1 hour show that you're going to watch as a family? This happens. And this is because the way that they're set up with the convenience of being able to use them actually sucks us into more use, and it kind of doesn't matter the age. So are we going to use these things, these screens, as tools, or are these going to be toys and things that enslave us? That's what we have to decide. I'm guessing you're on this video because you actually don't want them to enslave you. You may see that they have to exist in our society, but you're not sure how to have them exist in your family culture without getting into a fight all the time. So let's talk about what to do about that. So why are the screens such a problem for our family? Let's talk about the root causes. Okay, well, number one, they actually emotionally manipulate us. They do. They make us think we're connecting to other people. We do so much of our work on them. We feel like we're getting things done. Sometimes we think we're getting things done even when we're not getting anything done, because we get into a project. It traps our brain into a project. We're like, oh, I wonder how many videos I could find about this guy. I wonder how many baby videos I could see, or cat videos I could see. And we just get going, and we get so interested that we feel like stimulating ourselves and becoming more interested in cat videos or whatever the thing is actually productive. And it's not. It totally tricks us. And if we are not having self-government and being able to tell ourselves no, then we're not going to observe appropriate boundaries when it comes to these devices. We'll just keep getting sucked in again and again and wonder why we don't get anything done with our day, and why we feel so detached from the people around us, and why we have increased anxieties and depression problems, and a lot of things that now are proven to be linked 2, device usage. When you use the devices, it gives you unclear boundaries. You feel like, okay, I'm staying within this app, I'm working on this project, but you don't give yourself the stop boundary, and that takes a lot more maturity and understanding to prepare to do. Also, when you're on the device, you have this lack of structure that just seems to take over. So if you can't maintain your structure while on the device, if you don't have a clear goal in mind for your time on that device, then it's for sure going to just take things over. If it's at the end of the night and you turn on the TV, you're going to keep it going until you get tired enough to go to bed, because you have no more structure after that. Once that TV is turned on, that's the end of your structure. That's the end of your day. And sometimes it even ruins the go to bed structure, because you get so into it, because you've decided, I don't need any more structure now. And that's oftentimes what our brains tell us when we get onto the devices. Step number 1, pre-teach. You've got to explain to everybody these devices, they are tools, not toys. That's their identity. That's their role in our lives. So when we're going to get on a device, we need to tell ourselves, maybe even out loud, okay, self, I'm pre-teaching. Here's my instruction. I'm going to be on the device for 15 minutes. I'm going to go and check my social media for 15 minutes. I may even set an alarm that thing goes off in 15 minutes, and I know no matter what, I have to stop. So if you're using it, even if it's for business and I'm posting something on social media, I try to tell myself, I'm only going to go in to do this one thing. It's going to take this much time. And if I feel like I'm going to get sucked in, I'm going to set an alarm, because that's how we actually stick with a structure. Remember, lack of structure is part of our problem. So you teach your children, we will use the devices, but there'll be certain times, certain places. For instance, we're not going to use them at the dinner table. We're not going to use them after 5 p.m. We're not going to use them in the night, in our room. You come up when you will use them and when you won't use them. And you pre-teach all of those things. Those are the boundaries that you're teaching. Those are the no answers and the instructions. Now, hopefully, if you subscribe to this channel already, then you are familiar with the 4 basic skills of self-government, which are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately, because those skills are going to be super helpful in handling this problem. You're going to give instruction about how to handle the screens. You're going to give no answers about how to handle the screens. Your children are going to need to be able to do those things. If they don't, you're going to need to be able to do a correction, and they're going to have to accept consequences because they didn't handle it properly. And then if they need to talk to you about why they need it to be on that screen a little bit more, they need to use the skill disagreeing appropriately. So those skills are going to be vital for handling this situation. So you pre-teach what the screens are for. You pre-teach when to use the skills that you've already taught them, those self-government skills in using the screens. You're going to also pre-teach what you want the family culture to be like. So maybe have a conversation in a family meeting. If you don't know what that is, look up the video on family meetings, because there's probably multiple about family meetings. Then you have a family meeting about what you want our culture to feel like at home. Maybe you even have a family vision. Look at the video on family visions if you don't know what that is, so that you want your family to go in the same direction, to be unified in what type of a culture you're creating at your house. And then that's a pre-teach too. And hopefully you'll talk about the role that the technology is going to play in that family vision that you have for yourself. So you have that discussion in a family meeting, then you regularly have family meetings once a week. You're going to check up on how you're doing. Are you accomplishing this goal as a family? And then of course in the minute you're going to be doing some corrections as needed. So let's talk for a brief second about corrections. When you correct your children, they should be completely predictable corrections. So you've pre-taught ahead of time. If you don't observe the technology boundaries, then this is how we will correct you. These are the words that we will use and the consequences that you'll need to accept. And if you have special consequences for technology, which some people do, like if you don't do this, it gets taken away, or if you cross over this boundary, you don't get the opportunity to use it, then you need to make sure that those things are very clear ahead of time. This decreases anxiety, increases their ability to be able to self-govern in the moment. Teaching structure, which is a self-government thing, is always better than reacting to behavior. So if your child is having a hard time with screens, do not engage in the fight to begin with. Just don't do it. Be calm. In fact, I have a whole Calm Parenting Toolkit on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, that you can have for free right now if you go there. That will hopefully help you with your calmness as you continue to learn the skills and principles of self-government, which you can find all about on teachingselfgovernment.com. I'll see you there.